Hello there and welcome back to Nerd.World Films. Today, talking about one of my all-time favourite horror movie franchises, which in case you didn't know, this channel, I'm a massive horror fan. I have another channel, which I'm going to plug right now, called Nerd.World, minus the films. It's basically all about science fiction and fantasy and other such connected forms, which are on television. This is the same format, sort of, but for movies. The only difference is I don't tend to do these nerd talks on that channel, and this is an open format discussion of a film or franchise that I like. And today I'm starting with The Critters, going to cover all 5 movies, and yes, there are 5 of them. There really are. God, number 5, can't wait for that video. Anyway, number 1 on this list is the original 1986 Critters movie, which is a horror comedy film which was released in the vein of Gremlins, things like that, with basically killer hedgehogs from outer space with insatiable appetites, which must have been the basic brief of this film, because that's all it pretty much is. It begins with the aliens kind of landing on Earth, or crashing on Earth, in a small rural town in the United States, backwater Nowheresville, where everyone knows everyone and everybody knows everybody's business, and it's one of those horrible, nightmarish little places to live. To me, they just seem like living hell. Anyway, moving on. The Critters kind of make it living hell. I personally love this movie. I was only 2 years old when it came out, if you want to know how old I am, and it is one of my all-time favorite. In fact, for Christmas just last year, my partner rebought me the box set of the Critters movies 1 through 4 because a friend of mine stole the original box set that I have. Quite upset about that. But it tells you, everybody loves Critters. She liked it enough to steal the box set off me. And there we go. The movie was directed by Stephen Herrick. It starred various people who are the who's who of a lot of 80s and 90s. You got Dee Wallace as Helen Brown, Emmett Walsh, who's like the stereotypical cantankerous old man and everything. And of course Scott Grimes as Brad Brown, not a very well-known actor, but he's the main, sort of one of the main focuses of this show. And of course, the main guy of this franchise, he is the Burt Gummer of the Critters series, Don Keith Opper playing Charlie McFadden, a fairly simple-minded idiot with a good heart. It also stars an early outing for Billy Zane and Ethan Phillips, who, as a Star Trek fan, I know him best as Neelix from Star Trek Voyager, although he has played various other roles throughout the years, including Ferengi and things. But anyway, those are the main cast. And basically, the story goes, the aliens crash, they start eating the livestock, then they start eating the people, they start laying eggs, they start to breed, and it's a very clever and well-made film. Now, in response to their arrival on Earth, a sort of interspecies law enforcement agency, a sort of federal alliance of races, send a couple of bounty hunters named Ugg and Lee to Earth to hunt down the Krites, which is their actual name. Despite their appearances, these are not feral creatures. They're actually self-aware and sentient, and my theory on them is they must pass on genetic memory because they seem to be born smart, a bit like a gremlin again. Although it's the 80s, sometimes you just gotta not think too much about it. The bounty hunters have an ability to shapeshift so they can blend into their surroundings, sort of. By blend in, they're still 2 big, crazy biker-looking dudes carrying huge alien guns that blow shit up, and boy do they blow shit up. They pretty much blow up half the fucking town trying to wipe these goddamn things out. They slowly move their way through the town to kill them. Now, a lot of the things about this movie that are good, and I mean there are a lot, there are many things. It is well scripted, it is well paced, the characters have good character development. Fuck me, character development, I miss that. And then there's a lot of development, obviously, of the characters, and you get to know them. You actually feel shitty when they die, and it's a testament to the movie as well that it uses the old cliche of less is more. I mean, you only really see the critters for a few minutes of the film, really. Most of the film is shot from the critters' point of view, which being small means you see them as low angle looking up. and it's basically the camera panning around or running around, someone basically running around holding a camera close to the ground pretending to be a critter looking up at people. They use a lot of shadow effect and lights and darkness as the critter's red glowing eyes, or just noises of them giggling or snarling in the background. There's not much in the way of seeing them. The critters themselves, again, they get around either by running or they ball up into a ball and they roll, much like a hedgehog. They can also fire poison quills out that will stun you. They're non-lethal, but if you've been pricked by one, it's going to knock you unconscious for several hours, or at least incapacitate you enough for the critters to catch up and consume you, and they can consume you very bloody fast. They mainly focus in on a small farmhouse on the edge of community where Charlie works and Brad lives. His family are terrorized, some people are killed, his girlfriend, his sister's boyfriend, etc, etc. But the end of the movie comes and the good guys win and the Krites are defeated, and Charlie goes off harassing the two bounty hunters, who are probably two of the standout characters in the movie. They actually went as far as one of the bounty hunters emulates a rock star. And this rock star was made up, he's not a real rock star. The actor actually filmed real music videos for them to play in the background and even sang some of the songs. So to create the illusion of an actual rock star that Ugg was impersonating. And Lee was a bit more of an A to B. He wasn't as developed as a character, but he was meant to be more the gun, whereas Ugg was more the thinker. But you wouldn't think so from the names, I suppose. There's some kind of irony in that. The films are fantastic. It's a great franchise. It's a lot of fun. It's very funny. It's very well acted, very well paced, and generally a very enjoyable movie. And for my, again, all-time amazing expert ranking system, because I'm such obviously a great movie buff and movie critique, I'm right up there. You know, I critical drinker, eat your heart out, minty comedic arts, sod you, move aside. Obviously not. I just like to talk about films. I'm not so interested in the trivia. If you like this movie, like this video, tell me that you like it in the comments down below. But also, it is awesome. If you've not seen it or you dismiss it because it's an 80s flick, don't. Go and watch it. It is fantastic. As I said, the characters are very lovable. Ethan Phillips, for example, plays a police officer who bites it. Of course, fairly early on, he's not in it much. And you do feel for these people because they all have character. There are funny moments. They have human moments that humanize the characters, or demonize them to make you want them to be dead. You know, it's the way it goes. It's just the way it rolls in a Critters movie. I'm so sorry that just came into my head and came straight out my mouth. But there we go, Critters 1986. If you love it, you love it. If you hate it, what's wrong with you? Go watch it if you've not seen it. It's a film I really love. And next time, I'm going to be discussing the second movie. I may try and release some other videos between now and then, because I don't just do nerd talks in this video. If you go check out the playlist, there are other styles of video on here. But at the moment, I'm mostly doing this format, because I want to cover a lot of films that I like. This has been Critters 1. And so to conclude, Critters 1, I'm giving it 6 out of 6. Because I can, and this is a totally arbitrary, meaningless scoring system that doesn't matter at all. But there you go. I'm giving it 6 because it's awesome. I just want to take this moment to thank you for watching that video. If you liked what you saw, please check out my social links in the description box below to Instagram and Twitter and others. And also is down there a link to my Patreon page where you can support this channel and the others as I try to grow this franchise and do this more regularly. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching, and bye bye.